Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Everybody from Tobey Maguire to Sam Raimi himself and a couple other really big Hollywood writers, like one of the co-writers of The Batman and The Batman 2 with Matt Reeves, are talking about making Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man 4. Thomas Hayden Church, who played Sandman during Tobey's Spider-Man 3 and then came back during Spider-Man No Way Home, also said that Sony, the studio, also still had an option on him for a fourth Tobey Maguire film, not Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4 Brand New Day. Mind you, it's for a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film in the future, so we'll explain what's going on, because a couple of the really big people that are attached to this are very active on social media, which they probably should not be talking about, but thankfully for us, the fans, we actually learn way more about what's going on behind the scenes. So we'll just go through this beat by beat. Also, good news for us, due to the very, very leaky nature of the fandom and the internet, we have most of the details and material from the original version of Tobey's Spider-Man 4 before they canceled it because they were so far along in production. Spider-Man 4, no way he's going to pay that rent. Just because so much time has gone by since they were originally going to make Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4, the writer Sam Raimi himself said there are a couple story beats that would have to change a little bit, so we'll just talk about that as we go along through the video. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get everything, just because we have all the Spider-Man Brand New Day stuff that's also happening. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield also supposed to be coming back at some point during Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. We will see which movie that winds up being. My bet is more on Secret Wars than anything else, but we will see if Tobey Maguire also winds up showing up in Avengers, Doomsday. There have been a lot of rumors about that, about them swapping Tom Holland for Tobey Maguire in Avengers Doomsday. So it would be crazy if Spider-Man does show up in Doomsday, but it's not Tom Holland's Spider-Man. But if you recently saw people talking about Tobey Maguire's new version of his Spider-Man 4 movie, it's because one of the writers who is trying to actually make the movie now in present day was talking about it on social media, as he has done a couple times over the past few years. Mattson Tomlin is actually the co-writer of The Batman and The Batman 2 with Matt Reeves. He's also working on HBO's Aegon's Conquest series in the Game of Thrones universe, which is mostly what I'm excited to see from him, but we're not going to see that Aegon's Conquest series for a couple more years till they're done with House of the Dragon and they're done with this upcoming Night of the Seven Kingdoms TV show. But apparently he is just a massive, massive Tobey Maguire Spider-Man fan and Spider-Man fan in general.
Rand!
So this all started a couple years ago after Spider-Man No Way Home came out and Tobey Maguire Andrew Garfield came back. He started talking about wanting to get a hold of Sam Raimi and his ideas for how he would actually change his Spider-Man 4 from the original version. So he said, honestly, right now, my main interest in this respect would be to write a Spider-Man 4 where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is juggling being a husband and a father. Spider-Man as a father is where I gravitate towards given the last 8 films. Talking about Spider-Man related films, all Spider-Man related films. Most people, most fans at the time thought it was just wishful thinking, but then people started asking Sam Raimi at different movies to talk about his Spider-Man 4, and he actually started giving his ideas to saying similar things about how they would change things to modernize it for present day, like figuring out all the different beats that would have to change for whatever is happening for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man now, this many years later in his timeline. One of the other things that he said separately in a completely different interview is asking the question of whether or not Tobey actually wanted to do it, and he has since said, yes, he would love to do it, only as long as Sam Raimi is the person directing it. Like, they're not going to do it without Sam Raimi. So it sounds like Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire want to do it, and this Hollywood writer who's done a couple big movies and working on Aegon's Conquest series at HBO also want to do it.
Sam Raimi is doing, from what I've heard, he's going to do another standalone Spider-Man movie with Tobey, and I was contracted. They had an option for me to do Spider-Man 4 whenever we did 3, and then when I did No Home, of course everybody's asking, it's like, well, does this fulfill that? And Sony said no, we still want to have the option to use him in a standalone Tobey movie.
Then, of course, Thomas Hayden Church completely separately said that Sony was keeping their options for another Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film on his Sandman character open. And separately, just this last week, the reason why all the attention flared up again is because Mattson Tomlin also responded, slow and steady wins the race. There won't be anything to say about this for a long time, if ever, because it involves a lot of people, politics, things going on right now that have nothing to do with me, but I haven't gotten to know yet. Many of the people at Sony are still interested in doing it at some point. What he means when he says all the politics in the background might be slowing things up is because most of the attention with Spider-Man at Sony right now and the MCU, Marvel Studios just in general, are on Tom Holland's Spider-Man Brand New Day. What's happening with Spider-Man in the next two Avengers movies, Doomsday and Secret Wars? What's happening with Miles Morales, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, and then the live-action Miles Morales Spider-Man movies that Sony is planning on making after that? Part of the idea here is that Sony, Marvel don't not want to make a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4 movie. It's just that they have so many other bigger priority Spider-Man movies that they're worried about right now. Just because of the leaky nature of the internet, we actually know many things about what was going to originally happen in that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4 movie before it was canceled. But the first big thing that you probably saw posted in your feeds that leaked out was John Malkovich's Vulture suit. He was going to play a version of the Vulture, and they were going to say that he was called the Vulture because nothing was left of his victims except for the bones. Like, that's how hardcore he was going to be during the movie. He would have still been a technology-based Vulture like MCU Michael Keaton's Vulture, but it would have been a much more organic vibe like the comic book version of the character. His daughter, get this, was going to be played by Angelina Jolie, who would have also been a version of Vulture-esque during the movie. This is a small part of the final fight. Like, I have the entire video, but it just goes on and on, so you kind of get the idea. They were going to introduce Felicia Hardy, Black Cat. The Vulture was going to be the main villain, and he was going to lead a Sinister Six team. The Lizard, Dr. Kurt Connors from the previous Spider-Man films, was going to turn evil as the Lizard. There would be a small romance arc with Felicia Hardy's Black Cat. She would flip sides. She'd be a little bit evil, a little bit good during the movie. The Vulture would be responsible for creating Electro, so that character would happen. You can see that they reused a lot of these ideas for Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man, but they were also going to do Mysterio, which they're finally doing now, but it was going to be Bruce Campbell, so it was going to be a slightly older version of Quentin Beck. They had done a little bit of pre-production. Those are actual storyboards from the movie, and this is a portion of the script that I'll read here. So this is only a couple pages, but it sets the background for what was going on during Spider-Man 4. So the mysterious plot of Spider-Man 4 becomes known. While I'm reading from this, I'll cobble together an edit with images from Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film so it makes a little more sense. We open up in the sky, a feather falls to the ground. Just as it does, a slew of bank robbers pour out as they look up at Spider-Man swinging down gracefully, landing in a spider-like position. He beats down the criminals as the cops arrive, and the webhead swings into the alleyway. He removes his mask, revealing to us to be Peter Parker. Parker enters the Daily Bugle to reveal that JJ has been removed as editor and Adriano Toomes has taken his place, the Vulture. Toomes is a hardened, bold, and scared man who also doesn't have a sense of humor. By night, Toomes turns into the Vulture and begins to rob many banks across the city. By morning, the headline spreads across the city. Spider-Man begins to investigate the case with a utility belt that is equipped with a mini crime case. He yanks out a small magnifying glass and starts out over the scene of the crime. He notices the feather. He picks it up. Spider-Man swings into the ESU University at the ding of midnight, scrolling over the feather using a DNA scanner machine. Parker finds out that the DNA belongs to Adrian Toomes. The next day, Mary Jane calls Peter for lunch to meet her real father. Peter arrives at the Louvre kitchen with a suit clearly not fit for him, accompanied with a stash of roses. He drops them at the sight of her father, Adrian Toomes. Both Peter and Toomes shake hands. This being an awkward scene, we move our cut to Peter and MJ's new penthouse apartment. The two are arguing over the idea that the man can't be trusted and that in fact, he is the Vulture. Mary Jane leaves in anger. So they're already changing the comics quite a bit, like Adrian Toomes' Vulture is not Mary Jane's father. But then in the next part of the story, Adrian Toomes winds up causing an accident at Electro Corp and creates the Max Dillon version of Electro. Then he slowly puts together his Sinister Six team, so it would have been John Malkovich leading a version of that team. So remember in Spider-Man 2 when he threw the costume in the trash? Right out of the comic books, Spider-Man No More, he does the same thing off the Brooklyn Bridge. He throws the mask off the Brooklyn Bridge, then goes to Los Angeles to be with Mary Jane. But there's still a ton of stuff from Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4 that they could incorporate into a new movie, even if it's just part of some other movie that he appears in. We do know that he eventually married Mary Jane. They had a daughter that's basically his version of Mayday Parker from the comics, and currently in his universe, he continues to act as Spider-Man saving people.
We should do this again, like, all hang out.
It's nice.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. It's a good idea. I'll just grab your number at the end of the battle.
You got it.
There's a whole lot to unpack there, so everybody let me know in the comments if they ever did a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4 movie, updating the story for present day, how would you want that to go down? And would you rather that they do Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 3 if you have to pick between Tobey's Spider-Man 4 and Andrew's Amazing Spider-Man 3? There have also been a lot of rumors recently about them substituting Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man for Tom Holland in Avengers Doomsday, so it's totally possible that the Spider-Man that we see in Doomsday is Tobey Maguire's version. But it does sound like they're trying to focus more on Miles Morales at Sony, so it sounds like if they do more with Tobey Maguire Andrew Garfield, it might be more likely that they try to do more of their story, like what would be Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, but inside a Miles Morales movie, where one of them, like Andrew Garfield or Tobey's version, becomes a mentor to Miles Morales. There's a ton of stuff coming up, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss anything. I'll try to do videos for all of it. I just did a video for all the brand new teasers from Spider-Man Brand New Day. Click here for that, and click here for all my other brand new Marvel videos and trailers from New York Comic Con. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.